Can I ask you a question, Matt? Like, when you wank, do you like choke yourself?
David Carradine?
Depends on what I do it with. Or whom.
Holy fuck. You are a dark one, my friend. A dark one. So you'd like to be set on fire or set somebody else on fire? Have you ever thought about because there is some places that do stunt days where you can go and actually be set on fire, where they dress you up in the proper gear and everything, and they set you on fire like as a stunt day thing. You ever looked into one of them?
So I actually, for your listeners out there, I'm not going to give out too information, but I am actually a United States Marine. And actually a lot of Marines get out and do weird stuff. Cause I know, Warren is a veteran as well. And he knows that, people do crazy stuff while in the military. So, actually I know someone who went up to LA, and he actually does stunts. And he says it's really taxing, like when it comes to like what you put your body through, and actually people die. So as far as stunting, like getting thrown into cars and stuff and doing just the whole setting on fire thing is for me just, I don't know, I just
want to stop you. I just want to ask, I just want to put something on that. What you're saying is that because I'm having an episode soon that's based on men's mental health and how we deal with that as Aussies, but how you guys deal with it as men and everything, because of it'll come out in the next couple of episodes. But that's the question I just want to ask, is that being in the military, it must be a mental health thing where you Marines or the soldiers or whatever, they're so pent up in what they're doing that they've got to have a release somehow, and that's the kind of what you're explaining to me, it sounds like they somewhat go to extremes to try and release anger, frustration, anxiety, depression, to get away from it. How do you deal with mental pressures and depression and anxiety when you're in service?
So on my personal account, I've deployed to the Middle East a couple times. Actually, the funny thing is my first deployment was to Australia in 2012.
There you go. How'd you like it?
Bro, man, I don't know what's in y'all's water, but like females, man, like
females are hot, men are ugly, so it's easier for Americans to pick up.
Even though y'all drive on the wrong side of the road and whatnot.
No, mate. Correction. You drive on the wrong side of the road.
What is it? What is a kilometer? What is a kilometer? I mean, dang.
Well,
I'm all about this.
Fucking America, move over to the metric system, cunts. Move over to the metric system.
The military's on the metric system. Like every military's metric.
I'm for the metric system. It's far more accurate than what we're using here standard. So I'm for the metric system. By all means.
I'm still fucking using imperial fucking measurements and shit.
But to answer your question, so a lot of veterans, it's a big stigma, and it still is. Just to see as veterans are a lot of veterans too try separating themselves on purpose, and that's not what they should do. Separate themselves like, oh, hey, we're a veteran community, no, don't screw with me, don't talk to me in a certain way, or like they demean civilians who've never had that experience. No, being a veteran is just doing something that not a lot of people do, because less than 1% of the United States has or is in the United States military. So it is a smaller community, but there are good people out there. There's a lot of help. Way more help than there was back. I really think the Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom, so post 2000, has gotten really great with mental health. As far as like releases, there is still PTSD. There's a lot of people who struggle. On average here, it's around 22 military veterans that kill themselves 22 a day. There's a big movement, just to raise awareness. As far as releases, a lot of them, unfortunately, tend to go to alcoholism. And then the biggest thing, too, is what the military medical over here in the United States, a lot of them have to do with opioid abuse, because a lot of time when someone gets injured, it's always like, hey, you know, we're going to give you painkillers to help you deal with this, and they'll just keep throwing pills at you. And then the military will wonder why do you have an addiction to opioids? And then when they get out, it's kind of like, to get out of the military, they still have that addictive personality. Fortunately for me, my release is more on video games and just hanging out socially. As far as bad habit, or like going to the gym, I think the gym is probably one of the best releases, just because the endorphins and just kind of like picking heavy stuff up, putting it down. And at least in the Marines here in the United States, I mean, we're known just to pretty much, if you think about it, the military, you get paid to work out. I mean, you have to stay within certain standards, weight standards, as well as just physical standards, and, you know, look good in uniform. But to just say, like I said, answer your question, like it's a difficult thing to overcome, because everyone's different mentally, and you kind of have to like know your people. And as a good leader, just know your people and their welfare and how they deal with stuff. Like, I have subordinate Marines that I am solely in charge of, you know, and I go out of my way just to figure out what's going on in their life, because I don't want to get that phone call, that dreaded phone call saying, hey, you know, so-and-so, you know, put a gun in their head. And now, you know, you have something to where it's called a CACO, which is a casualty assistance, or casualty something, but it's where, you know, you notify the family. And I have done military.
Yeah, it's not something you really want to have to do.
And that's why the stigmatism, or the stigma, yeah.
Yeah, but you guys need
just before you go on, I just want to say, just for anybody else, anybody listening in Australia, all in America, all over the world, if you're a soldier, if you just somebody at home, if you are feeling anxiety or depression and you are feeling down, just remember it's not okay not to feel okay. Okay, talk to somebody, talk to a parent, talk to a brother, talk to a friend. Give any lifeline in Australia. What is there? Do you guys have a line or
the number right now?
Yeah, so military one source, de-stress, or even it doesn't even have to be a hotline. The best people to talk to are those whom you know.
Yeah, just talk to somebody, guys, because I'll tell you now, I heard this saying the other day, and the saying is, I'd rather listen to your story than attend your funeral. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, I was at a dark point in my life at one point, and, like, I didn't talk to anyone. And eventually, you know, I tried to wrap my car on a fucking guardrail because, like, I'm fucking done with this shit. But, you know, ever since then, you know, you kind of get I wish it hadn't taken me to that point to realize, hey, I should probably talk to some people.
It happens with men a lot, because, I mean, and like I said, I'll touch on this in another podcast, but from pretty much from childbirth, we cry to get attention, and that's how we communicate. And then from the moment we can speak, men are told not to cry, to suck it up, be a man, and anything like that. So we hold in our emotions, and then when shit like this gets us, we don't chat, we don't talk. And this is a massive reason why I made this podcast, is that friends I have on, guests I have on, they can come on here, they can have a laugh, they can talk about stuff they would not normally chat about in public to people. As you can hear, we've gone darker, we've gone funny, and we've gone racist already. But you feel lighter after you talk it out. But we'll move on from this subject.
Sorry.
But no, don't be sorry. It's been an absolutely fucking amazing insight. And I would love to get you on again, Matt, in the future to maybe go further into it. But yeah, like I said, if you are feeling down, doesn't matter who you are, where you are, woman, child, man, whatever you are, seek somebody out, chat to them.
Just to add, like, a veteran's a veteran regardless of what nation you fight under, whether it be Denmark, or Australia, because some of y'all Australian dogs out there are pretty crazy.
Yeah,
In a good way.
I told him yesterday, no greater friend, no worse enemy than a fucking Australian.
And you know what? Every
kangaroo-
Australian,
Emu, except for emu. So like, I don't know why y'all can't. You know.
the Emu Wars, we never
Yeah,
forget.
exactly. There you go.
We'll never forget. So who's go? Oh, so we went on from Matt. So I think it's back to you, Nick. Nick, what's your next one on your list? Oh no, it's me. Is it? It's me,
I believe
Yeah,
it's
I think
it's you.
mate. I'd love to be president of the United States for just a
No, you
year.
wouldn't.
Yeah, just for 1 year. I reckon
Okay.
I'd be a mad cunt president.
And we already got
I
one.
mean,
It's not too bad.
there's already one in there, bro. So I mean, shit. You got a high freaking. You got big, huge shoes to fill. If you think.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. The bar's either set really high or really low. So it depends on how you want to look at it.
Do you need to be an American
so-
to be the president?
Yeah, you have to be
Yeah,
born
you do.
here.
You
Or-
can be
You need to
governor. though. You can be governor.
You need to have citizenship. Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
No, you need to.
I was going to run for
you need to at least
presidency.
have one American parent.
But this question for you though is, what would you do? What's the number one thing you would do?
Fix up mental health. Fix up your health system. That'd be my first thing. Is fix up your health problem in America, because I reckon once you fix up your health problem, I think then a lot of problems that already exist would cease to exist. Then what I would do is raise the limit the minimum
Taxes?
wage. No, I'd raise the minimum wage because the minimum wage here in Australia, I think, is about $16.50.
It's $7.25 here. $7.25.
So you guys have got the whole $7.25, but we make tips, but that doesn't always work out. Right?
Oh no! People who make all right. So I live in Virginia. The people who make tips in Virginia only get paid like $2 an hour.
Yeah, see.
'Cause that's they're the only because
We don't have a tip structure here in Australia. I mean, our tip structure is mostly when you go to a place, you'll see it when you go to pay for your meal. There'll be a jar at the front, and it'll just say tips. You put money in it, and at the end of the day, that's just split up between whoever's working that day, right? But in reality, they're all making about $17 an hour, so we don't really need to pay tips. You know what I mean?
They fucking must love it over there when Americans come. It's like they leave 20% of the check on the table. It's like, here you go.
Well, I've heard plenty of Australians who go over, and just because they're just we're not tippers. Some Americans think we're rude because when we go to your restaurants or anything, they're like, we don't leave a tip. It's not because we're rude. It's just because we're not used to that. We don't do that. We don't tip
It's a
at all.
It's a cultural thing, right?
Yeah, it's just, we just don't tip. You say thank you, you go, thanks very much. I mean, it's not saying we don't tip. Like, if somebody's done a fucking excellent job, we are known to, like, if somebody's gone out of their way to be awesome, you might turn around and go, and you would slip them, like, $20 or $50 or something, it depends how good they are. But at the end of the day, like, we don't tip. Like, we just, like, when the bill comes, you ask for the bill comes, you put your credit card on it, boom, it's paid, bum, that's it. You don't put 20% or whatever on. So, and I think that's, I personally think that's just the cheap way of fucking restaurants and companies to pay lower wage. Oh, but you get tips. No, fucking pay them the amount, and most of this problem, the poverty level will decrease. You'll have less people, out of work. You'll have less people not scraping from, paycheck to paycheck. But that's just me, man. I'm an Australian looking in, so that's kind of what I would
American
do.
Things. You're saying a lot of un-American things right now. I need you to check yourself.
Talking too much facts. Stop talking facts. All right, we'll go to you. Sorry, go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, I like hearing opinions of, someone from other countries, just because like it kind of gives me more of a solid, like, kind of share opinion, but like agree with it, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
I mean, and we look at, and that's the thing. We look at in Australia. We look at you guys. Then a more